This podcast is sponsored by Financial Fashion Company, and I wanted to tell you guys to check out our store at fnfstore.com, where you can find our beanies, our hoodies, our joggers, our t-shirts, and much more. If you see something that you like, go ahead and plug in discount code FNF10 to get 10% off of your first order. Now let's tap into the show. You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. Welcome back, you guys, to another conversation of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
Man, it's good. It's good to be back, man. I know y'all can hear it in my voice. I'm a little stuffy and a little tired. But nevertheless, man, this is the day that the Lord has made.
Yes, sir.
So rejoice and be glad in it. And I really felt that coming out my mouth.
You're right.
Thank God for life. Thank God for a new day. How you feeling today, Vic?
Feeling good, man. Still tired. But
sure.
you know, it's getting better. I'm actually realizing what I need to do. And, you know, I just got to bite that bullet and go to sleep when I need to go to sleep, even if I do want to hang. Because I really had an epiphany the other day, like, what's most important? You hanging, being up, just having some me time, or you being tired when you out here and moving at less than 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather have that 100%. So, you know, it's all about priority, man. And that's what I'm recognizing with life. So I'm grateful for that epiphany, man. For real, for real.
That's a fact. Sound like you tapped into discipline.
That's what it is.
What's crazy is that I actually was thinking about discipline the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I started realizing that discipline is really about having a purpose. Because once you think about being disciplined at something, it's always for something, for a result or for a reward or something of that sort. So when I think about discipline, I always think about a press to get to a place that you're not at right now.
Right. And that, like, you saying that would be like your motivation.
Yeah.
To do that thing.
Exactly.
That's real talk.
Because it's like, I mean, think about it. To the fighters out there, to the people who are fitness trainers or whatever it may be, if we talking like being active, all of those people are very disciplined people. You know, great physical trainers, people that do training, people that are experts in their field. That's actually a discipline, meaning like they already know a place that they need to be, right? They already have goals in mind, right? So I feel that tells me that I don't even think a person can be disciplined without a sense of a goal.
But let me ask you this, though.
What's up?
When you said that, I thought, like, that's the first thing to do is to have a goal.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? But I think sometimes, like, we may create goals for ourselves that ain't realistic.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, like, for yourself, how do you go about making your goals realistic? You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a whole mental process when I come up on my goals. Because, you know, everybody got ideas, bro.
Right.
Because, like, a goal isn't a goal until... Well, a goal is an idea first.
Right.
So to take it beyond just being an idea, you got to actually start executing. So, I mean, like, as far as you talking about setting a goal?
No, it being realistic. Because, like, for example, like, you might have... Let's stick with the physical type goals. Like, I know you mentioned trainers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's stick with an athlete. You know, an athlete, he wants to... Let's make it small. He currently runs 5 miles.
Uh-huh.
And then he may come up with the goal with, I'm going to run 10 miles straight in 3 days.
I get what you're saying.
That might be a little unrealistic. I mean, it's a good goal to have, but it's almost like, you know, when we do stuff like that, we setting ourselves up for disaster. You know what I mean?
You're right, because I thought with you answering it like that, it made me think, because I had to re-understand the question. I had to understand the question.
Gotcha.
But definitely, when it comes to me setting realistic goals, I literally just look in the mirror and think about, like I said, when we trying to reach a certain place, you gotta have something in mind of what you're trying to go after. Mm-hmm. So I kind of take a look at myself. Like, I really don't try to like set goals. It just happens. Like as I grow as a person, my goals, I just have new goals, or my goals or my vision just grows. So it's like before I even set the goal, I already understand who I want to be, or the reason why I want this goal to come to fruition. Mm-hmm. I understand that. So I think that's the key of setting realistic goals. You got to really be in tune with yourself and really know what you're looking for. Because if you're not, you're going to just kind of like, a lot of times we like to talk about things. It feels good. It feels good to talk about things. It feels good to just conversate on things that you have aspirations on. And even though you haven't done any work, it still feels good to talk about something good.
That sounds like social media. Mm-hmm. Like people get on social media and might talk about a topic, and then subconsciously, like this is a real thing I read somewhere, they'll subconsciously think they done did something about it. Like say if like, like for example, when we have those police killings and shit, you know what I mean? Folks get on there, it's fucked up, the police ain't shit, this what needs to happen. And then motherfuckers feel like they done something.
Just by saying that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Subconsciously.
You right.
I like what you were saying though about like looking at yourself.
Yeah.
Cause what I took from when you said that was like really self-analyzing. Yes, you did what I mean? Because that can really put it into perspective of, okay, let me be real with myself and see what I can really do. You know what I mean? And I know for me, with setting goals, sometimes I can be unrealistic because I have these big goals, but then I don't even take into consideration like, okay, what's on my plate already?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do I really have the space to attain that goal in this amount of time? You know what I mean?
It's really, man, I think it's an emotional thing too. And I want to take it there because it truly is. And we speak about the law of attraction, and we speak about manifesting, and we speak about all of those things. And those things are just really you still having something in mind. When it all boils down to it, you really have to tune into who you want to be. Because like you was just saying about unrealistic goals, sometimes we just get excited.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, bro. And we want, like you said, social media thing. Some of our goals get set because we seen it on Instagram.
Right.
And it didn't come through self-realization, like you just said.
Real talk.
That goal didn't come through self-analyzation or self-realization. They came from you just lusting after somebody else's
life. Pretty much, yeah.
So you can also have a false sense of, goal setting because it's like you're really delusional. You're so unhappy with your current state that in your mind you think you're coming out of the hole by trying to be like somebody who you look up to.
Right.
But that person isn't you. And that person didn't have your experiences. And although it's good to have mentors and it's good to have people that you can look up to and learn from, which is the main thing. You should just want to learn from these people, not actually want to be like these people.
Right.
So that's the key, I feel, to setting realistic goals. You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself. Because like you said, if I'm setting a goal, let's say, like I said, if you want to lose 20 pounds, you can't do that in one day. So that would be an unrealistic goal. And you can tell even right then you didn't look in the mirror, because if you would have checked in with yourself before you set that goal, you would have realized that you need more time to lose 20 pounds than one day.
Right. So
self-realization is, like, in my opinion, the number one thing with goal setting, goal achieving, execution. I mean, everything, mindset, everything. And like, I was talking to my woman yesterday, right? About mindset. And what I noticed is that, bro, like, I hope I ain't just lose my thought.
You was talking to your woman. Setting goals, being unrealistic.
Mindset.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we was talking about mindset. And one of the things about mindset that we talked about was the fact that you can, I just need to say it. I don't need to say all that stuff before.
Trying to set it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it make sense. I don't want to just say it out. I like to lead up to what I'm saying.
I got you.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Because, in financial fashion, right, we stand for, a few principles. And the principles are mindset, faith, education, and wealth. Mm-hmm. And some people ask me, why you didn't put faith first? Because you know why? Sometimes, bro, to reach that level of enlightenment, your mind have to be cleaned of clutter. So you can't even get to the point where you build faith without the mindset.
Come on, man. Can't put the cart before the horse, man.
Exactly, bro.
Real talk.
I realized that, through my personal journey of being in church, and you can just be there.
At church, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can just be there, and if you don't really be paying attention, you would just be there.
Right. Just another person getting added to that thing that a lot of people point out about people being in church, really not being of God. You know what I mean? Not really receiving nothing, not really developing. Pretty much just staying the same. You know what I mean?
I think I lost my thought again because I was getting ready to go somewhere after I said that about the church. Mm-hmm. But you can keep talking, bro.
But that's okay. I was going to ask you, man. I know we kind of went off into a whole tangent about how I was doing. I want to ask you how you doing.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Man, I'm well, man. I'm just tired. Like I said, man, adjusting to everything, adjusting to my son, adjusting to everything happening outside of business, and that's been a process. Like I said, man, I'm really tired right now because, shoot, I probably ain't even go to sleep till probably like 5 this morning. And so yeah, that's kind of why I'm stuffy too, because when you sleep, your body heal. Right. And broken up sleep, it's kind of hard to heal. Right. So yeah, definitely, man. I really wanted to say that point.
It's all good. Let it go, man. It'll come back. Release it and it'll come back. But I gotta ask you a question though.
What's up?
I saw a post the other day on Facebook, and I thought about it when you said something about manifesting. Mm-hmm. But I saw somebody who was really like into church and God. I don't want to say church, but really in tune with God, like heavy. Mm-hmm. Like this person really inspired me to get heavy, to be honest about it. You feel me? But anyway, they said we don't manifest. We ask through Christ Jesus. As in manifest, it's how I received it was that manifesting is not of God, and that kind of had me kind of in the limbo, like, what? Maybe, no, that ain't. You know what I mean? You know how it be when you kind of question stuff. Yeah. And I just want to see maybe if you had some kind of take on what you thought of that.
Hey, that's really a good perspective. Kind of how I felt about voting before we got on the podcast. Mm-hmm. So I understand what he's saying because manifesting is really saying, because last conversation we talked a little bit about this, how we really be going within ourselves, and it's not good all the time to go within yourself for all of the answers because you don't have everything. And I think, some of these beliefs out here believes that we do have the answers to everything. Like, meaning you don't necessarily have to look to a God that's higher than you. A lot of these things now are saying that everything is within self. Like I'm saying, like you taking God out of the equation and saying that you the God. And then they use the excuse of saying that it's the God within.
That's the thing that kind of make it finicky, right?
Yeah, you try to say the God within and try to smooth over him by taking God out of the situation.
But see, that's the thing that's kind of finicky. You know what I mean? Because it's like God does dwell within us, but...
But how did he get there?
I think it's coming to me right now, bro. Okay. I think that sometimes with the whole concept of God dwelling in us, sometimes ourselves can get in the way of that. You know what I mean?
But is it the flesh you're talking about or the spirit?
That's the thing. I think our flesh gets in the way.
It's so much with the flesh, because that's what I'm saying. You would say, it's the God within, but you talking about your flesh though. You want to show what you talking about through your natural being.
What you mean? Show what you.
So that's what. So that's what I'm saying. The manifesting. This is why I understand what bruh's saying about manifesting not being of God. It's because like when you manifest, it's really saying that you going within yourself, your deepest desires, your desires, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what you focusing on. You focusing on the desires that you have, and by focusing on those desires, where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Yeah.
And see, there's something. It's mathematics, man. Like everything, how the universe works, God made it to where things are connected like that.
Mm-hmm. And then I think when you said desires, a lot of the stuff that people quote unquote manifest desire are worldly things. You dig what I'm saying? So where's really the God in that when he's not even really concerned about that like that?
And see, that's why I was saying I understand, bro, because it's like manifesting is materialism. It's materialized, and that's the lowest form of energy.
Right.
Like I was telling you that a few podcasts ago. Mm-hmm. Anything that we can see with the natural eye is the lowest. It's on its lowest vibration.
That's heavy right there.
Because if you're thinking about it, what are the most powerful things? One of the most natural, powerful things is ourselves.
What
you can't see it.
Oh yeah, what's unseen? That's what I thought you were gonna say. What's unseen? Real talk.
Everything that's not seen has the most power. It does more.
Everything
that you can't see does more than things that you can see. Because the things you can see came out of the things you can't see. That's the real power, and that's what I was saying. The power is in the thing that you can't see, because you have to actually have something to reach those things. That's where that faith come in. That faith is one of those things where you can access that.
Real talk.
But for sure, bro, for sure, that manifesting is really more so about self, because God got everything that we need, and if you plugged in with that source, you have everything. But when you say manifesting, that means I'm going within myself and focusing on me.
Right.
Right. I want this, so I'm going to get my mind right to attract this. For me. That's where's God in it?
Right.
So it's all about you focusing on what you want out of this life that God cares nothing about.
Right. We supposed to be selfless, man.
How about manifesting more love?
Yes.
About manifesting more peace, because that's the energy. And all of the things that you want that's materialized are going to be attracted to you when you have those energies of which things come from.
Real talk.
If you got the source, okay, the source created everything. And if you have the source within, then all you have to do is ask.
Real talk.
Ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door shall be open. So what is manifested? It's made up. Like, it's real.
It's real.
But sure. Because God made, like I told you, the mathematics of this universe, God made it how it is. So we have a brain, yes. We have neurotransmitters for us to understand the messages that we're being sent from our senses.
Right.
So everything is a channel and everything is a system, because that's how God created it. So manifesting is really man trying to be God. Or man practicing his godliness.
Yeah. The power that they got. The power that man has.
Because God already gave us that. You don't necessarily have to have God to do that. It's already in us. Manifesting. He gave us dominion over the land. We were supposed to we rulers. We are rulers. That that promise didn't disappear after we got kicked out of heaven. Like, we supposed to still have dominion of the land. And they are. People don't have dominion over the land, if you notice. It's just not us. It's the very wealthy people. They are they have control of the world. They have control of the land.
I think we got a little dominion too. Like regardless of our status, we all have some type of dominion.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? It might not be on a grand scale, but we
I'm
got a little
on some because we talking about being in the place of God. We talking about how you move, and what I'm saying is that like the real wealthy people of this world, they move the way they move because they have dominion. Like they have dominion over this land. The same way, in the spiritual realm, Satan have, dominion over the world. But see, physically, he have, people that believe in him that are higher ups in this country. So you see the spiritual and the natural. See, the spiritual, Satan is the god of this world. Spiritually, he's the spiritual head of all negativity and evil. But then you got God, he created Satan. He created everything, and everything that he did was right. You know why? Because it's God. We can't judge and say it wasn't right because we don't.
You know how I be looking at it though?
What's up?
Like Satan does have some form of control and power on this earth. But Satan don't go, Satan don't move. Satan ain't got no say-so unless God allows it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that just make more sense to me. And it really makes me accept stuff for the way it is. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of church people, oh, the devil trying to get me. Well, why is God letting the devil do that to you? Look at it that way. And I think
it's a reason. Yeah.
It's a reason. It's something that God need. And it made me think about epiphany I had the other day, just like, I got tired of God trying to get my attention. So I just give him my attention all the time now.
Exactly.
You feel me? Because that's what it be. The devil trying to get me. The enemy trying to do this. Well, God trying to get your attention about something.
Turn
yeah, turn to him. Yeah, get closer or something. Exactly. It's something God wants you to do. And that's how I look at it, because then when I take that approach, I'm opening myself to learning. You know what I mean? God, what you trying to show me? Because this right here is something that I don't know what to do with. I'm confused. I'm in the dark. What do I need to do? But see, a lot of times we'll get in those situations and try to create some kind of plan. How am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? Wreck our brains trying to figure something out. But that's why I tell folks, man, like, when me personally, when I get into a tough situation, it ain't nothing better that I can do than pray, read my word, and meditate. It ain't nothing else better to do. Nothing. Like, I don't care if it's like, I got this bill coming, I don't know how I'm gonna get the money. Like, your mind might be like, let me hop in my phone and see if I can find some plays or see who got some money or something. You know what I mean? No. Sit down, pray, meditate, read. You know what I mean? The word, not just no damn self-help book. You know what I mean? But something of true substance that really connects us with the source, man.
God is the answer, man.
Every time, bro.
And I really see that more than I ever seen it. Because I used to, dang, it's another thing me and my woman was talking about. Like, your desires, like we was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
Your desires when it comes to materialism tells where you are spiritually.
Real talk.
Because the more you see God, man, I'm learning, like the more I see God, the less I am attracted to things of this world. Like, cause I'm learning more and more, like, man, this really ain't nothing out here, and that it's not going nowhere. So to give me comfort and to give me certainty, I put my trust in God. Right. And I really believe that, 2 years ago, or even a year ago, I wouldn't have considered going to God being a helpful tool for mental health. But I mean, I feel like God should be in every process of healing because he's the healer. So, I mean, even if you do go see a therapist, or even if you do whatever type of, psychoanalysis, you can take God with you. And I feel like knowing that you can't do everything on your own, it releases a lot of stress that leads to mental illness when you trust God. Because, there's a saying that we always say, and I think we overlook it, but it's so powerful. If you're going to pray, don't worry. And if you're going to worry, don't pray. Because the depression comes from the stress. Anxiety comes from the stress. Either you're thinking about the past or you're looking too far forward into the future. But if you thinking about the situation that you're in right now in this present moment and connect with God within that time, he'll give you comfort for your soul.
Real talk.
And like we was just saying earlier about God being the source, being sincere in your heart and telling him what your problem is and what's going on with him, and you believe that he can fix it, he will. And he said he would. He said an honest heart he would not despise.
Mm-hmm. And that just made me think about prayer, man. A lot of people try to have these old beautiful prayers. And sometimes I get to work.
You said beautiful prayers?
Beautiful prayers, bro. You know how it be, bro. I know you done heard it, but they told that prayer. You know what I mean? Doing all that stuff, man. Sometimes I'll just sit in my car, bro, wherever I'm going, and just talk. God, I don't know what to do with this. I feel like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Help me out. You know what I mean? And really break it down how I feel. You know what I mean? And sure enough, man, God will come through. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't trying to look on the bright side. It's like, this how I feel. I ain't trying to be positive about it, God. This is what it is right now. You know what I mean?
Bro, when you get to that level, it really does feel like God is your best friend.
That's what going on, bro.
I know we talk about God like every podcast, and I want the listeners to really know that we really do believe that that's something you should invest in.
For sure.
Invest into your spiritual mindset, invest into your spiritual consciousness, because that's really how you increase your quality of life. Like, having things is cool, but man, that mindset piece is such a major key, because without sanity, well, there's only craziness without sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And what's craziness? Meaning, like, your life was not going to make sense. Nothing is going to make sense in your life without tapping into that spiritual part, that soul part of yourself. Because everybody don't believe in God. So we're not speaking to those people that don't believe in God. We're speaking to those people that do believe that there is a God that created the heavens and the earth. Now, if you are a believer in that God, then we're speaking to you, and what we're saying is that with that consciousness and with that awareness, life is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you really should invest in. Invest your time into it. Invest your focus into it and your energy into it. And I promise you that God's spirit will give you peace, and it will give you an understanding of that God is with us at all times. Mm-hmm. And I think with me studying psychology and whatnot and studying mental illness, it's so much comes from that in our communities, because we are used to struggling. We're used to being in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you don't think rationally, and you harm yourself and others when you're in survival mode.
Bro, you just edged up on what I was thinking about earlier, bro, because it's something that's on my heart that I really wanted to put out there. But what you said is when you be in that survival mode.
Yes, sir.
And how you can hurt others and hurt yourself in that process. And where I'm at right now, I'm starting to come out of that. Like, and the number one thing that I'm noticing is that my mind still wants to go to survival mode, even though that's not where I'm at. So it's like I'm having to retrain my mind. And I think I don't think, bro, I know that's an integral part to the healing process. Cause it's like, you can go to a therapist, you can do this, that, and the third, you can read, you can meditate, you can read the word, you can do all that stuff. But if when you walk out that door and you still having that same mind frame, even though you have all this knowledge, ain't nothing gonna change. You dig what I'm saying? And it has to be intentional. Like, for example, like I found myself at work. I went to work yesterday and I said, hey man, I'm going to consciously be positive today. Because, you know, to be real with you, I ain't no big fan of work. I'm grateful that I do have the opportunity and I'm learning here and all that. But sometimes it just don't be there. And I don't want to be there. You feel me?
Right.
So yesterday I said, man, I'm going to come in here and whenever I feel my mind going to that negative place, I'm going to flip it back. You know what I mean? Be positive. If I have a negative thought, you know what I mean? I'm going to replace it with something positive.
Right.
So if it's like, dang, I don't feel like doing this, I'm going to be like, oh, I thank God I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Just replacing it.
Perspective.
Yeah, and that helps me a lot. You know what I mean? And I think that's an important part that a lot of people don't speak on, training the mind to follow what we have learned consciously.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's applying it. And it's work. It's work. You know what I mean? It's really work. But the results are grand, bro. The results are grand, bro.
Yeah.
Cause like I said, bro, like I told you before we got on the podcast, like I've been dealing with feeling like I'm being overworked up there. You feel me? But I went to work yesterday and said, I'm gonna have a positive mind frame all day. And I'm gonna fight to have it. If I have a negative thought, I'm gonna think positive. And I was doing good. You know what I mean? And I tell you, bro, like I said, I was able to talk to my manager with peace and love. We came up with some stuff to make my work day better. You know what I mean? Co-workers started helping me out with my task at work. You know what I mean? That they ain't even supposed to do. Hey, what you need help with? I'm like, where this come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to ask, like, what made you want to do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, bro, we got out of there earlier than any other time we ever got out of there. You know what I mean? So, bro, it's powerful, bro. Remembering that piece. Because what I was doing was I was reading. I've been meditating. I've been talking to you about stuff. This is mental health, too. Because we be growing through this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Been doing this. But what I wasn't doing was fighting to change my mind frame.
That's deep, bro.
Real talk. And I think we got to do that, bro.
That's deep. And crazy you say that because transitioning to the next segment, I want to mention MH10 real quick because you just went somewhere. That's what I make it my business to stretch. Whenever I talk about MH10, I tell people that it's not just about being active. Because you can go outside all day, every day, and still be a negative person and still have negative energy.
Right.
Like, just walking outside is not going to help you.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that. It's a mindset thing. It's the consciousness and awareness that you're doing while doing it.
Word.
So it's like, when you walking, you really thinking in your mind, you telling yourself and you reinforcing the negativity, telling yourself that this is helpful for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a message that you send into your mind, your body, your whole cells.
Your whole being, yeah.
You sending that message throughout your body, and that same message is being sent vice versa. Like if you thinking negative, that message, those messages is being sent to the brain and throughout your whole body. So, of course, you're gonna receive negative.
Real talk.
So it's all about the mindset in which you're doing the thing. So that's why when we went on when we had the community day event, our topic of conversation, that whole event, was about emotions and mental health and how things are in society, things that contribute to our mental health and capacities.
Right.
So that was the consciousness while doing that. And that's the same consciousness that we need to have, every time we do, every time we nurture ourselves for those 10 minutes. The main thing is us being conscious of what's going on in that present moment.
Right. And when we in that present moment and that bullshit come, at that moment is the test.
Right.
How am I going to look at this? How am I going to receive this? You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes people think, oh, I've been working on my mental health. I've been reading about it. I've been talking to people about it. And then it's like, oh, it ain't working because some more bullshit happened in my life.
Practice.
That's what it is. And God gonna always give us that opportunity to practice. But I think sometimes people don't see it that way. It's like, damn, it ain't working.
But that's that consciousness.
Right.
You have to grow into that consciousness and be aware that this shit is actually this is going to work. Like, but you have to be conscious in that moment. You can't be out of the moment thinking that you're going to be healed.
Real talk.
Because like I just said, anxiety and depression comes from either looking too far in the past or looking too far into the future. And I really feel like if you're not in the present moment, you are looking too far into the past or too far into the future. If you're not living in the now, then you're not living.
Real talk. I think that's like the number one thing my teacher when I was in the alcohol and drug program, Miss Golden. Man, shout out to Miss Golden, man. I wish I could talk to Miss Golden. But anyway, she said she used to tell me specifically, not even to the class, because she was looking at me and seeing what was going on. And she said, Victor, you got to live in the moment. You need to live in the moment. Yeah. And, bro, I carry that with me, bro. And I ain't even going to sit here and act like I just picked that up and ran with it.
Yeah.
It take time.
It does.
Because if you spend so many years not doing that, it take time to really build up that practice.
Man, how
you know what I mean? For real. It take a practice. What you was finna say?
You keep doing that. You keep doing that, man. And I like the way you do that. Because it'd be like every time we have a conversation, like you say something that's on my topic list already. So like Chell said something yesterday to me and I had to write it down.
Right.
And it was so simple. And we say it all the time, but it just hit different. She said everything has a process.
Indeed.
That's
Whew.
heavy.
Yes. And it's hard to accept that first. But when you really accept that shit, bro, you like, well, damn, yeah. I'm in my process.
And when you conscious of that, though,
yeah,
you're so much better.
That's an important piece, being conscious of it.
Yes, your mindset is so much better when you're conscious of what's going on. When you realize and you believe that this is happening for my good.
Yeah. Come on, man. I've been reading that scripture like crazy. I actually put that scripture on my affirmations, bro.
For real?
Real talk. I ain't gonna hold you. My affirmations initially was a bunch of manifesting. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have this. But now, I've been transforming them to scriptures, but just writing them in the way of an affirmation.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Just like the scriptures say, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding.
Yeah.
I trust in the Lord with all my heart, and I lean not unto my own understanding. You feel me?
Yes, I feel you.
Bro, that thing's something powerful, bro. It's moving my life, bro. Because I read over it again, and I'll be like, dang, that's happening. Dang, that's happening. That's happening in my life, bro. Real talk, bro.
That's your consciousness, and that's the attraction. People, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Going back to the...
This is a spiritual thing.
Yes,
you
bro.
keep making it about the flesh, bro. This is a spiritual thing. Everything is spiritual.
Real
and
talk.
the more, like I said, the more I learn about God, man, the more I understand, the more I see.
Mm-hmm.
I just really see, bro, everything is connected, bro, and that you have to lead with the spirit first.
Got to, bro.
Because your judgment is going to be pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
If you don't lead with God.
Real talk.
Because, like, man, we really can't lead ourselves. We can't lead ourselves into positive places. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like we have that capacity. That's just my personal opinion. Because I mean, whether you believe it or not, you're being controlled by something.
Yeah.
So it's not like we live life like it's a gray area. Man, it's only two spirits in business.
I like that.
God and Satan, bro. You either on the left side or the right side. He don't even mess with lukewarm. Like it's so much
on the fence. Ain't no on the fence.
Bro, come on, bro. It's so much lukewarm going on right now.
Yeah, a lot of it, bro. And I think those are like, you know, people that still figuring it out, man. And I think we gonna always have people that's trying to figure it out, man.
Nah, for real. You right,
you
bro.
Know? And
I ain't mad at them.
Yeah, them the lost sheep. Some of them just on the fence and gonna jump over on the other side eventually. And, you know, they got their place too. And I'm grateful for them too. Because they gonna help me grow.
Different journeys, bro. That's what I had. See, that judgment thing, bro. No judgment.
Man. Come on,
no
man.
judgment. I'm just telling it how it is. Like, I'm not judging nobody.
Facts.
I'm just saying, like, this is what it is because, bro, we all fall short and we all have to stay on our knees to be more connected with God. Like, there's no difference between us or somebody else. Like, we all got to do the same things to connect with the Father.
Real talk.
So, and I just feel like when you lead with that, life is better. But man, Dan, we'll talk all day about that. And I feel like, man, that's high level conversation. And I feel like when they see the name of our podcast, I love the fact that they think it's about money and it's about so much more. You see what I'm saying? We invest different. They really be thinking like this on some money shit. But y'all really don't know this on some energy shit.
Come on, man.
Like,
and it's crazy you said that, bro, because right before you said that, bro, I was just thinking about we invest different, bro, and how we invest. Right before you said that, bro, I literally was just thinking that, bro. It popped in my head, bro. Real talk, because, you know, we invest, but I think, you know, we allow God to invest in us, man.
yes.
You know what I mean? He the one that set us here. And we are his investment. He want us to grow.
Yeah.
He want us to be bullish.
That's right.
You dig what I'm saying? And we got to let him do what he do. We got to let him work. Put this right here. Just like any other corporation. You know what I mean? They going to put these people here. They going to put this situation right here. You know what I mean? They going to have this plan. But see, the thing about this is, bro, we don't know the whole plan. And we sit here and try to figure out a plan on the way God want us to move, bro. But, man, that's when we just got to sit back and be like, Lord, I don't know, do what you do. I'm just the investment, man.
No, for real.
For real, do what you do. I'm following you. For real.
We done really went through some good key points. And I'm going to do, before we go to our next segment on what you learn, I'm just going to go through a little rundown. Like, because I know first we started talking about discipline.
Discipline, for sure.
And that, you know, discipline is a very key thing. But in order for you to really have discipline, it got to be connected to a goal. Because don't nobody have no discipline just like, nah, that don't exist. Right. Every time a person is disciplined at something, it's because it's connected to a goal and a purpose. So if you want to be disciplined and you having problems being disciplined, you have to connect that discipline to something greater than what you chasing right now. Like, it has to be some type of purpose connected to it, something bigger connected to that discipline. And that's going to make discipline a lifestyle.
Real talk.
We talked about, what else we talked about? We talked about leading with the Spirit. You know, leading with the Spirit so that we can make what? Of course, we're going to make better decisions. Our judgment going to be better. Our behavior going to be better. Our focus, our energy is going to be better when you lead with the Spirit, when you trust the source. We talked about that too.
And it was another thing too about, you know, as you kind of skipped over with goals, make sure your goals are realistic.
Oh, yeah.
And our goals are realistic when we really self-analyze and self-realize. You know what I mean? We got to do that.
That's the main point. I should have led with that one. But yeah, number one, self-realization. Because you really can't even have a discipline without self-realization. That should have been number one. Self-realization first, then you'll be disciplined. Then, well, all of this is getting you ready to be more spiritual anyway. Like, it's a channel. Like I said earlier, you got to have your mind right before you even be able to receive what God got to say.
Real talk.
He don't talk, man, with so many instances in the Bible where he tried to explain spiritual things to people and they didn't understand. You know why? Because they wasn't in that place in their mind. So it takes a mindset change first before you're able to digest certain things. So we talked about some good things today, and leading on to our next segment of what you learned, and we're gonna make this brief. So Cuzzo, I know you've been tapping into, you know, learning things from work and learning things in life. So like, let's do something different, you know, with what you learned. Taking into consideration all of the stuff we know in our brains, you know, all of the knowledge and wisdom that we have. What's something that you learned and started implementing that you never thought you would? Something that you learned and started implementing that you never thought you would. But you started doing it because of that growth. You went through a process. You went through a realization.
Oh, I pretty much spoke on it. Just consciously fighting for that positive thinking, man. You know, just all day fight. I can't let up. You know what I mean? I thought I could let up. Oh, I've been positive enough. Oh, I got a better one. I have the habit of when I would get to a good place, I'll kind of lax on development. You feel me?
Yeah.
But now when I'm in that good place and things going good, I'm recognizing, and I call it for myself, go ahead and store it up. And by that, that's me telling myself, things good right now, but keep fighting to be better.
Yes.
Don't lax. Store it up. Because when that next time come or that next battle come, you'll have some of that growth in you already.
That's right.
To handle it. So store it up. When you feel good, don't feel like, oh, I can chill. Like, no, I gotta store it up. Keep storing it up. Even if you don't need it right now, store it up. Keep reading, keep meditating, keep praying. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you need to do. So when that next time come, I'll be ready. Or more ready than I would if I wasn't storing it up. So that's something that I've learned and been implementing lately. You know what I mean? When I feel good, keep trying to feel better.
That's deep. Now, if y'all don't learn nothing from that, I don't know what to tell you.
Word.
Because that was a power bar.
Mm-hmm.
But tapping in, something that I learned that I didn't think I would implement, but ended up seeing value in it, is well, that's a good question. That's the reason why I said it. I didn't know that. I didn't have an answer when I asked that question, just to let you know.
That's a good question now, for real.
Because sometimes we do things, man, that, we said 3 years ago we weren't going to ever do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let me bring it home and be transparent. One of the things that I said I wouldn't do, that I still do, is and I started the line company out of a car.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I ain't even shared this publicly. I've never shared this publicly before. But starting my company inside of a car, my line company inside of a car, no truck. And I'm still working on getting me a truck. But the thing, I said I wasn't going to do that no more. I said I wasn't going to do it no more. I said I wasn't going to cut nobody else's yard without a truck. But then I was tapping into something greater than me, because if I make that excuse, then once I get my truck, it's going to be something else. And I'm going to keep making excuses.
Mm.
So my main thing is, like, even if you're uncomfortable, and if that uncomfortableness is going to give you the results you desire, go ahead and do it. I know it's embarrassing. It may be something embarrassing. It may be something that you feel insecure about. But because of what you're going after, it's so much greater. Mm-hmm. Like, your goal and your vision is so much greater. And you got to keep that in mind, because you'll start to get emotional and you'll want to quit. Mm-hmm. I literally go through that. Like, you want to quit. It looks embarrassing to pull up in a car. But I do some of the greatest work, and I feel like I outwork people that's in trucks. I outwork people that got all the whatever they want. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have something great regardless. And as I move like that, I have better times when I go do my work. Amen. I have better times when I can make my customer happy. Like, I get joy out of that. Like, my customers be excited for me to come cut their yard because I put something into it. Mm. It's because the reason why I started the company was in the future to have a summer job program for I want a job summer program that will serve as mentorship for our young people. So that was my whole thought process. Like, of course I knew that I wanted to make some money, because I'm not cutting grass for free. But the bigger picture was that I want to create jobs and opportunities. Mm-hmm. So now, even though I have to work out of my trunk right now, I'm thinking about that goal. I'm thinking about, man, if I just keep pressing, mm-hmm. look how many people I'm going to be able to employ. Mm-hmm. Look how many people that I'm going to help satisfy that has a need, and I'm rendering something that can give them value and give them what they needed. So that gives me a little joy in my going through. Well, I don't really call it going through. I really
Your
just call it
process.
going process, right?
Yeah, man.
That journey, and,
Yes, sir.
and like it's making me greater.
That's gonna be your testimony too, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like I already see you having that truck, bro, and I see you talking to young folks. Like I remember I was in my car with this shit. Niggas gonna feel that, bro. Niggas is gonna feel that, bro. For real. Not even just young folk, grown folk trying to be entrepreneurs. They gonna feel that, bro.
I really can't wait to tell their testimony, bro. I just, right, in due time, But yeah, that was my first time sharing that, but that was a testimony. That was a testament for me, bro. Like,
Amen, bro.
I really felt that. I feel that, bro. I feel it right now because I got to go do some work after I leave here. So it's like, it just keeps me going. And that's another pointer, you guys. You gotta think about why you're doing something. And that's another reason why that discipline came into the conversation. This is why I'm disciplined. I'm going somewhere. Like, I got some place that I'm going to. I got people that I gotta help. I got people that I gotta add value to. Because I was once that person waiting for somebody to give me value. I was in college in the system. I was in the rat race. Then I met these two gentlemen that started teaching me about business. And started teaching me how, like, the real thing. Like, I started learning, like, so there's a system that I'm in and I don't know that I'm in. And I was like, huh? What? So you mean to tell me this is a scam or like, this is a trick? Once I got that revelation and that enlightenment, I'm like, so it's all a game? But what my point is that if those two young men would have never took me aside and had their purpose in their lives that they went after, their bigger goal, if they didn't have that in mind, I wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't be deep into entrepreneurship the way that I am if it wasn't for that. Because, like, that was actually before I graduated college. It was literally the first year of college, which I found out all of this stuff, man. I found out how the world is, how society is, how a lot of things were set up, against us. And once I realized that, my life changed, my mindset changed. I couldn't move the same way no more. Like, I couldn't sit in class. I couldn't do that 4-year, 6-year, 8-year, 12-year thing no more.
Well, let me just add this, though. You know what I mean? Because I totally feel where you coming from. Because, me going to school, I ain't even going to hold you. My biggest motivation was my dad. He wanted to see me graduate. And I probably think that's the number one reason why I finished. Not because I wanted to, but I know that's what my dad wanted, to be frank with you.
Yeah.
And but I don't want listeners to not feel like it can't be beneficial. Right. That's your journey.
Yeah, mine.
The revelation that you had was your revelation, and it's working out for you. Yeah. And it's taking time, you know what I mean? And you're willing to make that sacrifice.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't built like that. And it's okay not to be.
Right.
You did what I mean? Because, college does have its advantages. You know what I mean? I don't want to deter anybody from going to get that paper. You know what I mean? If you feel like that's best for your life and your situation, by all means, do that. You know what I mean? Because it does have its benefits and it does have its faults. Just like entrepreneurship does. It does have its benefits and it does have its faults. But it's all about figuring out which benefits and faults align best with your life and what it is that you want for yourself. So, going back to the self-realization piece, what are your goals? You know what I mean? Where are you at right now? And make the best decision based off that, not off, what somebody else is doing. Because sometimes that'll have you in a predicament like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So,
man, thank you for explaining that.
For sure, man.
Thank you for explaining that. Because I just was telling Savannah that at grandma's house. Or was it, that was at my baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have a job in her field right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting ready to go back to school anyway. But I'm just saying, we had that conversation about, jobs, career. Mm-hmm. Because, if you got a career, I feel like that means that you're useful. You're doing something useful. A job, you're just basically, I just need to make it by.
Right.
So, like I was saying, like you were just saying, to agree with your point, if you see a light at the end of that tunnel for you and your journey. And like, it's all about your personal belief. Like I said, I used to believe that I was going to go to school for 12 years and become a clinical psychologist with a doctorate degree. Mm-hmm. But for me and my belief system changed. So it's all about your personal belief system. Like Vic was just saying, if you feel that that's what you want to do and you feel that it'll work for you, have at it. Don't go against yourself trying to do what somebody else advised you to. Like, really stay true to you. Really stay true to your vision and the goals that you have set up for yourself. But I just wanted to share my testimony because that literally happened to me, and it put like a stopper in my journey. Like, it was a detour. Mm-hmm. Like, I got derailed. Like, that was the track ended. You know what I'm saying? And like, after I graduated with my associate's degree, I tried to go back to West Georgia, same school you graduated from. Mm-hmm. I was there on campus for about a week. And then at the end of that week, I had got information that my FAFSA didn't process in time. Mm-hmm. So, man, I was trying to still do the things that my family wanted me to do. And I knew I didn't really want to do it, but I was making myself do it. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't work out organically. Like, I felt out my things and I thought everything was straight. I got on campus. My car wasn't working. Like, it just wasn't working out, bro. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like the same way things happened to me when it was time for me to transition into full-time entrepreneurship. It seemed like every job that I had got, something happened. Mm-hmm. So for me and my journey, man, God was just speaking to me, telling me to bet on myself. Now, everybody don't have that type of revelation or realization or whatever you want to call it. But I really felt like it was a calling for me because my life was like literally telling me, you need to be doing this. And right. Until you do that, nothing is going to work for you.
Right. You got to do it for yourself too. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get caught up in the Jones, trying to keep up with the Joneses and what everybody else doing, because God will send you in a totally different direction. And if you so tied up and looking like everybody else, man, you'll miss it. You know what I mean? And even with a job, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's what God may want you to go. Maybe everybody ain't meant to be an entrepreneur.
It's not.
That's the facts, man. And you know, it just seems like culture right now is making such a press on that right now. And I understand why. Because it is a better option to some, and it does have its benefits, but everybody ain't built for it. Sometimes a job is what's best for some people. And I just want to put out there that if you do have a job, don't feel like you not doing what you need to do. Mm-hmm. Because scripture says, work at all things with your heart for the Lord Christ, not like you working for human masters. Mm-hmm. So whatever that you doing, whatever that you pursuing, or whatever, look at it as you doing it for Jesus. Because that's who it's for. That's who set you where you at right now. You know what I mean? Regardless of what you see your cousin doing or your sister doing, what your mama don't want you to do, recognize what you're doing for Jesus Christ. And if where you at doesn't align with what Jesus wants you to be, just having that mindset is going to allow for him to send you where he wants you.
That's right.
And that's going to be a better fit for you. Even if you don't enjoy where you at right now, say, I'm doing this for Jesus. And Jesus is going to move it around for you, man. For real.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Amen. Now, leading into our last segment before we get out of here, and this is the financial theme of the month of June 2022. And like I said last episode, the main theme for this month, and for those of you, crazy that the financial theme is like this, because you just got through talking about working a job and entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So the financial theme of the month is own a business, regardless of whether you are employed at a job or not. Mm-hmm. Because though there are some things that business owners get that employees can't. And like I said last time, of course, taxes is one of them.
Right.
But also, it's another perk of you set how much money you want to make. You know, whatever your goal is, whatever lifestyle you want, you have the freedom to set that goal because it's your company. You know, versus, you know, at your job, of course, you know, you have what? Some people do salaries and some people do hourly. But that's your cap unless they gonna give you a raise. So, I mean, but when you actually own it, you decide according to your work ethic and according to your value how much you want to be paid. So that's the number one thing of June is start a business, work a business, whether you're working a job or not, and you'll be able to save money. You'll be able to invest more. You'll be able to, in the future, by following this, you'll be able to have more time with your family. All of that, man. So yeah, business is key. And also too, I like what you said about the mindset of which you're working in when you do go to your job. Also, it's a pointer is that you might not work at the traditional. Did you know stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental health issues? This is why we started this movement, MH10, Mental Health 10 Minutes. And we want to inspire everybody to take at least 10 minutes a day for a walk, jog, or run. Or even if it's just a stroll in the sunlight to get some fresh air. The goal is just for you to focus on yourself for those 10 minutes. And what this does, it lowers the chances of you experiencing anxiety and depression, because we all know that stress leads to those things. So get outside today and take your 10 minutes. And if you want to post on social media, use hashtag MH10 or mental health 10 minutes. Now back to the show. Like where you working at might not be traditional. And like, let's take an example. Okay, a McDonald's job. Yeah, you pretty much know McDonald's, who the McDonald's owner is, but you never met him, right? Mm-hmm. But how about attaching yourself with an entrepreneur, right? Because the owner of McDonald's is an entrepreneur. So we gotta bring it home. Let's break this down, because we all are working for somebody. We all are working for somebody. And it's all about who you want to work for. Do you want to work for somebody who actually care for you, care for your well-being, care for your, how you doing, care for your family, and just really have the spirit of love in the environment? It's hard to find that at those type of jobs. But what you can do is find another entrepreneur that's in the field of which you love and have a desire to be in, and connect with that person. You don't necessarily have to do it in the traditional sense of like all of the big commercial companies like the Walmarts and all of this stuff. You literally could work with somebody who actually got a vision and got a cause behind what they're doing. You can work with them and be their employee. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily have to go and, go apply regularly. You know what I'm saying? Not traditional way. You can do it untraditionally by connecting with and networking with an entrepreneur that's doing things that you want to do, and let them hire you. Because there's a lot of people out here, man, that's looking for assistance. It's entrepreneurs out here looking for that. They're looking for a team, because that's one of the main things in entrepreneurship. People like, I got to have my team. I got to have my team. You know why? Because your vision be big. Mm-hmm. It's very important. So with that being said, man, you have anything left to say, Vic?
I just wanted to re-emphasize, man. When you invest in God, God gonna invest in you, man. It's a two-way street, man, and it's a beautiful road to be on.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Let's just go ahead and drop that mic, man. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And we out, man. See y'all next week for Conversation. What? This 19? This 19. We'll see y'all Conversation 20. We said we was gonna go live, but we're not sure yet. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we tapping out. We're gone.
Peace.